Every day we lit. Something shit.
Can't tell me shit.
All right, give us the clap. Not really. I don't actually want the clap.
Give us the clap. You get a clap?
Yeah,
like a
it
button
just
press.
helps us sync things.
Yeah.
All right.
You're not burning.
Whoa. I've
Different
never,
conversation.
Yeah, we'll have an episode on burning and learning and toking and smoking and choking. Welcome to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's your co-host, Mr. Brown Broken Guapo, Jake, gang, living the dream, faking it till I make it. Big guy.
It's your boy Spencer, King Aquarius, Mr. 25%. Actually, I'm going to give myself 30% because I just passed a dope exam. Gang.
Yes.
Word. So we are here today, Tuesday. What's the date?
20th.
20th.
My 30th birthday's in 23 days.
Wow. How's that feel?
I'm turning 21. Fuck you.
You just said you're turning 30.
I know, but not. You know what though? Before we dive into that, we being rude. We're always rude to our guests. We don't got no house training.
This is crazy. You know why? It's because we've been chopping it up with him for the last few minutes. It's like, oh yeah, you part of the team, gang. But
illustrious, immaculate, and I'm gonna sell him short. Barber, rapper, artist, Eddie Rivera, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But feel free to introduce yourself because I didn't do you no justice.
Eddie Rivera.
Is illustrious?
From Meriden, Connecticut.
Do you describe another band like that?
Illustrious?
Illustrious.
What does that mean?
I actually
think it means extravagant, fucking crazy.
Great.
I
stole it from Jesus and Mero because they used to call all their guests our illustrious guests, and I guess since they are no more a thing,
It's funny because all these big words I've heard them in rap songs like Jay-Z and Nas. I never learned these big words in school.
Do you read?
Do I read?
Yeah.
I read small things, but I listen. I do more audiobooks.
Ooh.
When I'm in the gym on a treadmill.
Interesting.
I'm more of an audiobook guy because I like to do two things at once. It's like if I could work out and listen to audio, then it works.
The reason I asked because like I just said, I'm about to be 30, and I think I've read 5 books in my whole life, whereas Spencer's probably quadrupled that number, and his vocabulary is much more enhanced than mine. So whenever he uses big words, it's like, yo, what'd you just say?
And you just taught me a word today.
Illustrious?
Yeah, highly distinguished, renowned, famous, glorious as deeds or work, obsolete or luminous. How the
You never heard that word?
Illustrious?
Yeah.
I've heard it before, but I
never
never
really
knew the definition.
word.
I've never heard another man call another man illustrious. So I was like, is that? But I'm sorry, we definitely cut you off. So introduce yourself, King. My bad.
Eddie Rivera, artist, hip-hop artist, and barbershop owner. And, yeah, just a full creative type of person from Meriden, Connecticut.
Love that.
I was going to say from head to toe, my boy yatted. Jealous.
Are there any one of those titles that you would like to come first? One that you want more
to be known as an artist. Just when you look at me, I'm like a hybrid artist where it's like I could step in the music hip hop world, and I could step in the painting graffiti world, and I could step in a barbershop and still be artistic and cut your hair. I've always been a creator.
I was going to say, so is that a creative, or do you just like
a creative?
Artist?
I don't know, because I just like to create, because I also like to create businesses too. I've helped so many other businesses. I'm into marketing. I love marketing.
My boy do everything. I can't. I'm excited for this.
When we were talking about books, I'm 49 books in 2 years.
What?
Wow.
In 2 years,
Yeah.
24 months, that's 2 a day.
Yeah. No, not really. It's not 2 a day. 49 books is not two a day.
20
in 2 years.
24, 48. Am I tripping? Oh, it's 12 months in a year, 24 hours in a day.
That's the guy that financial advisor, ladies
It's been a
and
long
So
day.
so listen, they're audiobooks, so it's not like you make time. You have more time when you go into the gym and putting on your audiobooks. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna sit here and take time away from everything you have to do to sit there and read a book.
But people do.
People do.
I wish I enjoyed reading as much as I like watching a good show. And some people enjoy reading a lot more.
Mm-hmm. But
I like learning. If I'm learning from reading, that's what I like to do.
and I think that's where like now I am why I crave conversation. You know what I mean? Because I can learn from conversation, but conversation meaning podcasts. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yep.
my source of education because I get quotes, I get life lessons, things like that. Whereas like my attention span won't allow me to sit here and read a book, but I can, listen through a podcast,
But
watch.
You know what it is? Like, I'm the same way. I have ADD and I'm all over the place. But when you are learning about the podcasting, I love the podcast because I do a lot of podcasts from everyone. But when you're listening to a book called Psycho-Cybernetics and you're learning how the brain scientifically works to make certain things happen, so it isn't just the secret, you manifesting things. Like, that's an actual real thing. But learning about how it scientifically works with your brain, it's a whole new world.
The actual understanding of it.
Like what? Yeah, the science part of it, where it's
Right.
like this is real because of the science backing it up. So books are good to touch on a subject in a little deeper way than just a podcast where you kind of get the frosting. You get all the good stuff and a little bit of comedy, like you said. You get a little bit of everything, but
Right.
books focus on the topic. So I think that's why they're also good to have.
Right.
To your addition of.
If I could find something that keeps my attention, the one book I always bring up, The Alchemist.
Yeah.
Love that
Good
book.
book.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not really the person to hold a conversation on literature, but that book, it teaches you about life. It teaches you about yourself. And it just makes you kind of think and reevaluate. And I think that I'm constantly doing that,
Yeah, The Alchemist is a great book.
Word.
I would like to listen to that thing again. That book was a good book.
Dope.
So, big guy, you got a question for us?
I do. I do. So, what is the balance between celebrating success and being cocky?
Now, the first thought that comes to my mind, there's two things, right? So I can't say first thought because there's two things. But Annoyed has a song, CT Rapper, right, where he says the perfect combinations between humble and arrogance, right? And you're asking about like celebrating and being cocky. It's like I feel like when you have a goal, when you're putting something out, when you're putting art out, right, you need to have that confidence. You know what I mean? Like I tell people every day, I'm the best coach in CT, best soccer coach in CT. It might not be true, but I believe that shit.
It's a state of mind.
It's a state of mind. You know what I mean? When I talk about the podcast, I mean, I do believe this shit. I got the best podcast in CT, period. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's a state of mind where, like, I'm celebrating myself, especially because I don't like giving myself credit. You get what I'm saying? So maybe that's my way of giving myself credit, giving myself my flowers. During my soccer career, it was one of those things like, oh, you made it to the national team. All right, cool, but I'm not done.
But what makes you cocky? What makes someone cocky? Like, is it someone saying I got the best podcast in you know what I'm saying? No, this is you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got you know what I'm saying? Is that cocky or because I don't think it's cocky. I think it's positive. I'm not I think it's positive.
Right.
And it should be that way. Everyone should feel that great about themselves. So it's like, a quote unquote, like a hater might call it like that guy's cocky, but someone with an open mind be like, he's celebrating himself. Like I think like when we talk about Kanye West and the whole cocky thing.
Yep.
I think Kanye West was taught as a youngin' to celebrate himself. Like you see with his mom, and it might sound cocky at times, but when he was talking about the God thing, I'm telling myself I'm a God, but and you guys look at me crazy. But if I said, hey, I'm a loser, it's okay. No one's gonna criticize you for calling you a loser.
Yep.
That's a fact. So I guess because cocky is probably synonymous with arrogance, right? And arrogance, offensive display of superiority or self-importance, overbearing pride. So I guess, no one likes an arrogant individual. Do you have any arrogant friends?
I think we all have arrogant friends.
Do you?
I think we all could think of one person that's like, all right, that's my boy. He's arrogant, but he's cool. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have no arrogant friends?
You're the arrogant
at least
friend.
even if it's one, there has to be, because arrogance is like a natural emotion that people just, some people don't know how to control it, and some people do. Like, all right, I'm being arrogant, I gotta calm down. But then again, it's like a little more drastic than cocky, right?
Do I have an arrogant friend?
You might be the arrogant friend.
I'm not arrogant. I'm far from arrogant because I don't think I'm more superior than anyone. What?
We had this conversation last week about horoscopes.
Yeah. But
my bad.
And I thought about this, right? So I don't think I'm more superior. I just know the work that I put in and the sweat equity that has gotten me to where I am. And if I've put in 100 hours at something and you put in 20, I have confidence that I probably do it better than you. That's not superior. I'm confident because I put in work.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
it's funny because I shared this thing today about being superior, and I gotta read this because it's too dope to let it go. And we're talking about it. It says there's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow men. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that. As long as I'm better than I was yesterday.
And my reading sucks because I do too much audio.
I can listen like a motherfucker.
No, we know what our strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah, you're an auditory learner.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was because I grew up on teachers reading us books. Maybe that's what it was. Bilingual. You ever did bilingual?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what happened?
What's bilingual?
When you're Spanish and
Like
English and you
bilanguage.
Is it a class? Oh, you asked if he's bilingual.
You never went to school with the bilingual kids? Like,
yeah, they had their own class.
yeah, with the Spanish teacher.
We all took Spanish.
I think they're called ELL or ELA teachers.
This is back in the early 90s. It's a whole different. It's probably called something now.
And now, like working in the school system, we actually have like.
Was it to teach you English better, or like?
It could have been to teach you English better. Could have been to teach you English, period.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, no,
right.
Because there were even now, some kids that don't speak a lick of English.
Like when I came from Puerto Rico, all we did was speak Spanish. So when I started school, all I knew was Spanish. So we had to make that transition, and then we would have Spanish classes and English class, where we would learn. We're learning slowly how to make the transition. So by fourth grade, I was going into full English.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, I learned a lot today.
So let me ask you a question in regards to, because we were just talking about like confidence versus arrogance versus celebrating yourself, right? And the first thing that comes to mind is freedom of speech, right? And especially, I struck a nerve. but the first thing that comes to mind is freedom of speech, right? Because we always say like, oh, here in America, yada, 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 we can speak our minds, blah, blah. And today for you guys, we're going to be talking about freedoms, different types of freedoms, right? Freedom of speech, right? Yes, we say we are allowed to speak our minds, but cancel culture is so prevalent. You get what I'm saying? You say one thing, especially in today's society, you're done. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, you should be you and speak your mind regardless. And if you get canceled, you can't get canceled. I don't know. It's a tough situation because it's like a graph. It's like cancel culture is up high on like canceling things, and then it's like they disappear, and it's like
then you come back.
They're in and out. It's like it's a big battle of freedom of speech, and all right, we're doing this too much, and let's like balance it out. It's
only freedom of speech if the majority is on board. So like, who's that guy?
Kevin Hart.
No. He's blocked on
Chris
all
Brown.
social media.
Yes,
Donald Trump.
That bald guy. That
Andrew Tate.
Yes, Tate.
Yes, yeah.
Which he's blocked. You saw the podcast with Patrick Big Davis.
No.
So he's not only blocked on social media. His bank accounts are frozen. Everything is.
Wait, can somebody fill me in? Who is this guy?
I don't. I don't know too much about him. I
just listened to that podcast.
He's
like
some like
long podcast.
misogynistic. He's like a UFC fighter from South America. I don't know. He just says, I saw like a clip. It was like a 1.5-minute clip of him talking and making statements, and it was just
wild.
It was just like, it's like people think like this. Like
now that guy got canceled.
Yeah, it's
but what are you saying about freedom of speech? Like,
it's not real.
Freedom of speech
at this point.
People are just too sensitive. Like people take what you say at face value too much, and they just like they can't handle it. It's we've all been in that relationship where one of us wants to go. And like you're just staying there because, oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt this person's feeling. Where if there was freedom of speech, active freedom of speech, you could just say, yo, listen, I'm not feeling this anymore. It's not that I don't feel any different towards you. I just don't feel like I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life, and I'm not happy.
Right.
When's the last time you broke up with someone like that?
Right. But in regards to like, I could say what I want. That doesn't mean it's being received. You get what I'm saying?
Because people are sensitive.
No,
I think it makes you people are sensitive and they are emotional, and we are teaching people that it's okay to be emotional and let things hurt their feelings, and it's okay to censor things.
Which I mean, it's okay for your feeling, like for you to get hurt and like for your that's.
But imagine if they got rid of hurting people's emotions forever.
Huh.
Imagine if they're like, yo, we don't hurt people's feelings anymore. And in the world, where would it be? Like, I was created by getting my feelings hurt. All the greatness in my life, like me being so great at art and hip hop and the barber, like, all my success, even though I'm still like scraping the surface, comes from getting my feelings hurt.
Yeah, there would probably be no Eminem. Like if people didn't get their feelings hurt.
But we could keep going because there would be a lot of people.
So paint me this picture, because you said something that I haven't been able to wrap my head around, and as Jacob says, like if I can't understand it, I malfunction. So what is this world like if we got rid of hurting people's feelings? Like what did you mean by that?
Like, I don't know where it would be. I don't think it would be a very plain world.
If we got rid of hurting people. Oh, whoa. You mean if we spoke in such a way where we were conscious of the other person's feelings, not hurt them?
Right. Like, let's say I did a portrait, and you don't think it looks like the person, and you're like, that looks great. That, whatever, and you keep moving. The guy feels, you saved his feelings, but his art is suffering because you didn't want to hurt his feelings, because it would hurt his feelings. If you told him it didn't look as great as you.
Oh, if you didn't give them the hard truth, they couldn't critique themselves and then create. Okay, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So would you love to live in a world like that?
But that wouldn't hurt my feelings. I can take constructive criticism.
But that's you. This is what we're talking about. We all about freedom of speech. I could tell you some shit right now. You probably got some tough skin, and it bounced right off. But a majority of this world has become soft. As far as like feelings hurt. Like I get my feelings hurt, but I shake it off.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like,
ooh, don't run by that. Ooh, don't run by that. So you get your feelings hurt, but you shake it off. Why?
Because fuck your feelings. Like,
but these are your feelings.
Yeah, fuck my feelings. Like,
why fuck your feelings? Like, so
when it comes like, my feelings are gonna, if my, God forbid, my kids are hurt, like my feelings are gonna be crushed. But as far as like anything else, like, fuck my feelings. Like, I've been through some shit where it's like, man the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone thought something crazy about you. Mm-hmm. That's their opinion. Mm-hmm. Shake that shit off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or even sometimes we think crazy about ourselves. But we're in a dark fucking area where, like, shake that shit off. Like, fuck your feelings, dude. Because your feelings are going to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying?
When do you know not to fuck your feelings? Like, when do you know not, like, no, I need to sit?
When my mom is, fighting cancer and I need to stay strong for her. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Or, families, people that you love, your feelings might be going through some shit where you got to, like, put that shit to the side and stay strong for them. That's when my feelings would probably matter.
So you shouldn't acknowledge them in that moment is what you're saying?
No, you shouldn't acknowledge your feelings as far as you being hurt because they have cancer to the point where you get depressed.
So here's so this is almost, and it's interesting how the conversation took a spin to like mental freedom. You know what I mean? Like psychological, right? And I have a saying I like to say is feel the feels, right? I tell my students all the time, like, like if you're feeling something, it's okay. Figure out how it is, and then kind of like you're saying, move on. So is it not better to address it? Because when you just let things go, right, it's almost like you're compartmentalizing. You're putting it away. Doesn't that eventually come back to bite you in the ass?
So this is where creativity comes from.
Because you have an outlet.
That's the outlet. Music, art. My frustrations and my emotions don't. I'm an artist. Trust me. I'm an emotional fucking freak.
Right.
We might talk about some sensitive shit right now. I might start crying.
Yeah. What's your sign?
I'm saying? Capricorn. Like probably the softest.
I don't know what that means.
It's probably the softest fucking zodiac. But
So
what I'm saying is,
yeah.
we all need outlets. It could be a basketball player going to the court. Like, I just got into an argument with my girlfriend. Fuck her. I'm going to go play basketball, and that's your outlet. You know what I'm saying? You're not really bottling it up because you're in your mind. You're meditating. So anything that you're doing, we all know meditation fixes a lot of mental health. You know what I'm saying? And meditation isn't just fucking crossing your legs and closing your eyes and fucking humming. It could be fucking driving. It could be boxing. It could be working out. It could be painting, music, like... There's so many outlets, and people are out here shooting each other. You know what I'm saying? That's like, leaving their frustrations with a gun, and you're just destroying your life when you could grab that energy and go into your home and create some shit where people are like, wow. You know what I mean?
I have a question. I like everything you're saying, to be honest with you. So, are you meditating or are you compartmentalizing?
As far as when I'm creating,
driving, boxing, however someone uses said outlet.
So let's say if I'm doing art and I'm painting, I'm totally focused on the painting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So every worry and every thought that we all know, idle mind is the devil's playground. So
I like that.
If I fucking have nothing going on, trust me, I'm thinking about my teeth are crooked, or fucking
Mine too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're thinking about stupid shit, everything bad about you.
Facts,
You're a little chubby. You got fucking a little, you got a little titty going. You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking about all your negative shit. Trust me, when you're alone, not creating, and you start thinking, your mind starts wandering off to some negative shit. Like,
interesting.
And then like sometimes on my way here, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be nervous. Like, I'm coming here, I'm like, I don't know nobody.
Word.
But then I started talking to myself like, no, you're one of the guys. You're in the same playing field, and you come in.
They asked me to come on.
No, it's not even about. It's just trying to prepare you. We all get fucking scared to like approach something, but it's all about going through the fucking process that makes you prepared. You know what I mean?
So how does? Because basically what you're saying is like your outlets bring you peace, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How does finding your peace and then keeping that peace connect to freedom? Because with me, it's like once you disturb my peace, once my peace is disturbed, I got to get rid of you. And now it's like,
you talking about a person?
In general, it could be a person, it could be a job, it could be
addiction,
you know what I mean? Once this disturbs my peace, but then it's like, okay, if I get rid of it, right? Am I running from my issue? You get what I'm saying?
If you get rid of it,
if I just instead of confronting it, you get what I'm saying? Because if I confront it, I could keep you around, keep this around, keep that around. But if I just cut whatever the issue is off, am I then running from my issue?
But it depends, because some people if it's a person, you got to get rid of. I got rid of so many people in my life, and I still got love for them from afar.
Right.
But I'm at the point where I got the people I work with that I love, like a family. I got my family. And then I got, the people in social media. At this point, we see those people in social media and all that. But I love my peace, and I love being alone, and I love this. I love networking. I love that I met some people. You know what I mean? But it's like, these are doses of things. I think the core of spiritual freedom and all that stuff comes when you're alone. I think everybody's great ideas and epiphanies came from when they were alone. I don't think they ever really sat down and thought of something great with someone else. Yeah, you build on it with a team, mastermind, but I think ideas are born by yourself.
That's interesting. I just heard that on a podcast recently where this dude was like, I've never created any great ideas with my business partners. I had an idea on my own. I worked it out on my own, and then I presented it to them.
Yes, that's exactly.
And then they
me.
expanded on it. Wow, that's interesting. I like that. That's dope.
That's funny that you heard that, because that's how I think. I take trips by myself. Like, I'll go to Miami by myself for a couple of days, or Vegas.
Yes.
And I spend time in my mind, not even just away from everything that brings noise to my life. You know, when you're going somewhere else, different state, no one knows you. You turn off your phone and you're just in a whole new world.
You turn off your phone?
I mean, my phone's always on silent. Like, all the time.
Cat said motherfuckers can't reach me.
Yo,
but I'm always, we always check our phone, so it's like.
And that's the thing, like, detaching from the world is such a peaceful idea. You know what I mean? And to me, I think that, and I'm trying to actually get in the habit now, like you say, your phone, like getting away from my phone either 9, 10 o'clock, right? Putting it on do not disturb once I lay down. It not being the first thing I check when I wake up in the morning, because it's like we're so connected to other people.
You forget about yourself.
It's so easy to forget about yourself. It's so easy to forget about what you're feeling, what you're thinking. You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes, like you were saying, we say all the time on the show, we don't know anybody that works as hard as us, right? You was just telling us barbershop, musician, artist, like all these things. You're a father, right? All these things. And it's like, you know what it is to go, right? But in a sense, that brings us peace, that brings us happiness. But also, you know how to find that freedom where, all right, I'm by myself. And everybody knows me. I'm a social butterfly. I talk to people, all this cute shit. But I enjoy going to bars by myself.
Same here.
Enjoy going to the movies I'll go sit at the beach for 12 hours by myself. You know what I mean? Bring a speaker, bring some food, bring some brews, and just chill. But people are afraid to spend time by themselves. And I don't know if it's because they're not comfortable with themselves.
I know exactly why, because I used to be afraid to spend time with myself. And the reason I'd be afraid to spend time with myself when I was younger was because I had to face so many different things. You know, the issues I had that growing up without my dad, getting laughed at because my art wasn't good enough, so I quit, put it to the side. Music, people laughing at that. When you're creating in your beginning, everyone's laughing at everything. So you're like, damn, I suck at everything.
Right.
Because,
That's real.
I did art. They laughed at that. I stopped doing that. All right, let me pick up a microphone. Oh, you're laughing at that. Or let me pick up a pair of clippers. You're laughing at that. So
right.
It's like, so when you're going through that, a teenager going through that transition, it's like, I don't want to spend time by myself. I start thinking about all the shit I suck at. So when I'm with other people, we're making jokes, you're laughing, you're distracted. If anything, you're probably around someone that's probably older than you, because people that are older than you want to keep you around because they need something to co-sign them and feel like superior. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a big fucking.
There's a lot of friends groups like that I know of.
Like misery loves company. So it's like, and it starts off with the younger kid hanging out with the older kid that's smoking weed, and then this guy puts this kid to smoke weed, and then it's like your dreams are over there,
right?
Where you have to spend time alone.
But all my friends
that's where
smoke weed. Yeah.
Yeah. So spending time alone is so important.
I agree. I love that shit.
And it is. I've been talking to Spencer now probably for like a month, if not longer. Like, I've been thinking about starting therapy. You know what I mean? Starting therapy. And then one of the things I think about is like, okay, well, why haven't you yet started? And it's literally what you said, because you got to face shit. You're afraid of like.
Talk about certain things.
You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, do I really want to unpack that? Or it's like in the back of my mind, I already know why I feel this way towards that, but I don't want to face it. You know what I mean? So it's like, we cool.
And sometimes it's small, short-term pleasures that we know we need to stop, and we don't stop because we enjoy them. But we need to stop if we want to take it to that next level.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is when I was playing soccer, right? in college, my coach always had a dry season rule, right? So from August 5th all the way, we always made it to the NCAA tournament to the second or third week in November. We didn't drink, right? But then the rest of the year, spring season, yada, yada, we turned up as college, right? Mm-hmm. But then as my career progressed and I went to play professionally and I got called into camps and this and that and the third, I always knew, all right, the one thing I like that I'd like to do, but I have to stop doing is drinking because that's going to slow me down. You know what I mean? And I knew I was disciplined. Now you ask me to do that shit, fuck all that noise. But now it's like, I mean, then it was like, okay, I know what I have to do to stop. I could face it. I could, you know, like you said, those small pleasures that you might hide behind, or those small things that bring you joy in the moment. It's like, actually, I could do without that. And I'm better for it. I'm stronger for it, yada, 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 so on and so forth. That's the first thought that comes to mind.
But we all have all those, like you said.
Guilty
I'm
pleasures.
sure you could think about a couple.
Yeah, I pick up my phone a lot. Like, I mean, obviously, my phone's in my hand right now because of the podcast, but I've realized even trying to study. So remember I bought an hourglass because I know I have ADD, ADHD. Like, I can't really focus on anything for too long without my brain like, I wonder what's happening with this right now.
Yeah, you're like Dory. You like fuck. Yeah, I'm the same way. Yo, I am the same way,
I'm
bro.
the equivalent
I'm
of like,
yo,
ooh,
what the
squirrel.
Fuck? Did I go grocery shopping today? Like,
yeah, while I'm supposed to be doing something important.
Some weird shit. Like, you be thinking some weird shit. Like, yo, was that girl's Ice Spice hair orange? Like, I'm supposed to be thinking about.
Why did Drake fly her out and then send her back? I don't. Yeah, so. As I
right, some weird shit like you gotta study. Like, yo, I gotta study.
As I'm supposed to be studying, I'm just thinking of a million different things. So yeah, I know one thing for me is definitely my phone. But it's also interesting because I work on my phone and I don't want to have two phones. Because I don't want to have like a phone that I'm like, oh well, this is my work phone. I'm gonna leave this at the office and then like pick it up in the morning.
I'm with you though. Same, I work. My phone's my work too.
Yeah, so. It's definitely a balance I'm working on.
What do you guys think about second chances? Giving people second chances, jobs second chances, situations second chances. Almost like
how much are your feelings hurt?
Like last week when we spoke on the horoscopes and stuff, right? The two ladies, they were saying like the universe is going to continue to put you through the same thing until you finally learn your lesson, right? But are you giving things second, third, fourth chances? Do things, whether it's relationships, jobs, like, you know, whatever the case is, deserve second chances. What do you think about that?
I think everyone deserves a second chance. I don't know about the third and fourth and fifth. Maybe a third, depending on how they fucking maneuver. But definitely a second chance.
Okay.
Sure.
He said you get one time to reflect and come back correct, and after that it's a dub.
Because me as a person, I know I give somebody a second chance, but I'm not gonna let you fuck me over the third time.
The same way.
Right.
Got it.
Same way or at all? Because those,
it's tricky because like, yo, you just robbed me, like, and it's like from something else. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying, because it's like, my thing is people are who people are. You get what I'm saying? So like, yes, you can grow. Yes, you can change. But if you grow, you always had that in you. You get what I'm saying? It just needed to be unpacked. It needed to be unraveled. Whereas like, if someone's, let's say, stealing out of desperation, you didn't have to steal. You chose to steal. You resorted to stealing, right? But you could have, you know, put your pride aside, ask for help, found a job, this, that, the third.
But see, that type of stuff comes with, okay, how old is he? You know what I mean? Is someone stealing, oh, he's 16-year-old, or was he stealing, he's 26-year-old? Like,
I think, so I just had this conversation the other day, and you just said something that triggered that. So people, people are who people are, right? And then when people ask when a kid is fucking up or he's stealing something or he's getting involved with like gangs and shit like that, they're like, I just don't understand how. So like, what the fuck is his relationship with his parents? You know what I'm saying? Like, who, like the people that were around him that were supposed to be molding and shaping this individual? Because my friends
those
told me
people ain't always present.
That's true.
I'm the guy. Look, I was stealing at JCPenney in high school, basketball shirts to make money.
Were you putting them on though?
Yeah, I was putting them. I look like a snowman running out the fucking JCPenney.
But we all been. No, I'm joking.
But no, listen. But I was broke. My mom was working 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And we had no dad, and I was broke. I was like trying to figure it out, and there's no role models to be like, yo, you could do it this way, or come rake my leaves, or I was never asked to go shovel snow or rake leaves, even though I did shovel snow, but whatever. I was stealing, right? Now, I would never get caught dead stealing. Like, I would never steal in my life. So it's like, what changed?
Because you didn't. So
but hold on, build on that. What changed? Because like you said, you would never do it now. That was always in you.
Not even like a Snickers bar. I wouldn't even feel right stealing.
But you get what I'm saying? That was always in you. You just had to be taught that, yo, you don't have to live this way, and that was your freedom. Right. You get what I'm saying? And granted, like you said, mom's was at work. You didn't
mixed with a little bit of excitement because we know the rush you get running through the fucking store, and it's like, so that probably became a little addicting too. I mean, you got money and you had a little thrill.
This might be
desperation too.
This might be a sidebar, but do you think people are born bad?
People are born good and bad. God gave us the whatever you believe in, but I believe that whatever gave us the ability to choose. What is it called? The freedom of
choice,
freedom of will, right?
Freedom of will. Yeah, sounds.
Whatever. He let us be who we wanted to be and make our own decisions. So, like, we're not all perfect. Like, I make little fucked up decisions sometimes where I'm like, yo, I should have never done that. But, you know, I believe I'm more of a great person. I try to make a lot of positive decisions, and I don't know. It's all about who you want to be. You know what I mean?
But are people, a child, a newborn that has has no idea of this world, is it born bad?
But this is what
I don't know.
This is what I'm gathering from what Eddie's saying, right? Because we have the free will or freedom of choice, right? And I've referenced this movie before, Adjustment Bureau, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically about a man who the universe or God, whatever the case is, in the movie it's God, right? They have a path selected for you, right? And he steers off the path that they chose for him, right? And every time he steers off, they try to be like, all right, bring you back over here. And he's like, no, this is the life
I want to live
that I want for myself, right? So when you're a kid, they say babies, they're the most innocent people, right? They don't know right from wrong. You know the pictures that they show you of like the black and white kid that come together and like, oh, hate was taught.
So that comes from, we have to put the word selfish in there, because when we're younger and we do bad things, quote unquote, like take a fucking toy from a kid, we're being selfish. But it's bad because you're hurting his feelings and you're taking something that's not yours.
I like that. So is it that the action is actually not bad, but the outcome of the action?
Because the baby doesn't know that's bad.
Right.
He just knows that they wants that fucking toy.
Right.
And I'm taking it and this is what I want. And, you know, we are selfish. So we don't care if you're crying. This is mine. But in all reality, what's wrong with that? We were teaching them we got to teach them that that's wrong. But to the baby, that's not wrong or bad. We're all about me. You know, when you're growing up, we're more like me. And then the older we get, we start realizing we're put on this earth to service people. And it's can I help you? Not can you help me? And it's what we could do for our country and not what our country could do for us. You know what I mean? Like,
So then what restricts freedom then? Because like you just said, we're selfish by nature, and we had to be taught that selfishness is wrong to an extent.
See, yeah, then to an extent, because then again, we should be selfish when it comes to our emotions and when it comes to our mind and who we allow in our mental capacity, you know, all that type of stuff.
Right.
When it comes to you and your body and your health, I think we should be. It's okay to be selfish, because you need to make sure you're good. Just like the airplane thing, you put your mask on first. You can't help nobody. So if you're like unhealthy because you're not being selfish and you're giving all your energy to all these people and all this and all that, and you're like unhealthy, that's when like you got to be selfish in that aspect.
And And I think that a lot of times people, especially adults, they lose their selfishness in themselves and their jobs and everything. And it's like you're saying, like, they don't put themselves first.
Why is that? Like, why do you think that happened? Like, why?
Because being selfish is so frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we just use the example of
as a child
being selfish as a child.
Yeah.
Right. But now you're saying as an adult, you need to be selfish. But I've been taught this whole time. They literally, remember the Juicy Fruit commercial? Sharing is caring. It can be fun. Like, they literally are teaching us everywhere to not be selfish.
Right.
But then now with mental health being a conversation and things like that, I now need to be selfish again.
I don't know if
I had a
selfish is the word. Like, I get what, like, I think you need to be cognizant of yourself, but I don't think it's selfish, because think of it as like a village before we started building all these, nice buildings and shit. Like, everyone had a job, and that job helped the community, like, work. And like, there were hunters, there were people who were seamstress, people who could cook. Like, everyone had their job. So like, I don't know if selfish is the word, because like, that's just your role. Like, you could be selfish in your role if your role is to help others.
So this is what I think. I think that you need to get up early in the morning, take care of you first, like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, no one's up.
Talk that 4 in the morning shit, King.
I'm up anywhere. You're going to catch me up anywhere from 3 to 4:30 in the morning every day, because you need to take care of yourself first. Like, you need to feed your mind. You need to meditate. You got to work out. Then when you work out, you come home, you drink tea. Now you're good. Now you're in a good spirit. You're in positive. You said some positive affirmations. 'Cause I'm big on affirmations. Like,
Yep.
So now you're in a cloud 9 right now. Now you could take care of your babies, wake them up, and be peaceful. Not the one that, oh, my kids wake me up every morning, like I'm running behind.
Like,
of course
what?
you can't take care of yourself because you are sleeping in and your kids are waking you up. Now they need you, and now you can't even brush your teeth. You can't eat. You can't meditate. You can't work out. You can't do nothing that starts your day. And now your whole day is gonna be fucked up. You forgot to make your bed, so now your whole day's fucked up because you're behind. You're trying to. You're arguing about, I can't find time for myself. By the time you come home, you're tired. You put on a fucking show and you go to bed, and it's all over again.
You didn't do anything for yourself.
Nothing
in
for
that,
yourself.
in that 16 to 18 hours that you were awake.
And so that's why it's so important to be up. Like, I got to get the fuck up at 3 or 4 in the morning because I need those 2 hours for myself. So, like, every time I wake my kids up, I'm happy. So my daughters get a happy guy, not a stressed out guy, not yelling at them. They're getting a happy guy. And it's because I took care of me. You know what I mean? Like,
So then, and because what you just said, right? Like, I might wake up and just go straight to getting woken up by my kids, doing this, that, doing the third, whatever, right? And then we said we're not doing anything for ourselves, right? And I immediately thought about everything that I do, right? I work as a behavior tech, I coach soccer, and I do this podcast, right? All things I choose to do, and it connects to my purpose and my goals. So is that not kind of, although I'm serving other people, is that not also doing for me because it fulfills me?
but that is fulfilling. Like, serving people is fulfilling. Like, me cutting kids' hair, people, serving people in the barber shop world.
Right.
I'm servicing them. They're paying me, but it's like we're just
mutual.
It just goes. It's a flow.
Right. So then shouldn't that be enough? Why is that not enough to take care of me, the fact that I'm serving you and it fulfills me?
So then there's the materialistic part of this world. Where
The mutually beneficial part.
Okay.
It depends what you're gearing towards. Like, you got the monk that has nothing on a mountain. He shaves his head bald and just is happy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Are they happy?
No, these people are fucking happy.
Bro.
They're at peace.
I ain't never seen a monk smile.
You know what? They're at peace.
I'm so serious.
But see, smiling could potentially be excitement. Excitement could also get you killed.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
believe it or not, like, you could be excited off of something. I remember Kanye West said this in an interview. He said, excitement is bad for you. You could run out of here and get hit by a car.
Yep.
And that shit
in the
opened my
documentary.
mind. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, that is so true. So we don't want to be fucking excited. Excitement could be bad.
Right.
I mean, I say this all the time. I pride myself. I'm like this.
So when I look at a monk, it's like peace. Is peaceful? Do I need a smile to let you know I'm happy? Sometimes you look at people like, yo, you always got that mean face. I'm like, I'm actually a really nice guy and I'm at peace.
Right.
I just got that fucking
chilling.
mean face. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's your inner, it's your core. It's like going into a fucking apartment, right? The shit is beautiful on the outside, but when you go inside, the shit, underwear everywhere, it's a trash. That's how human bodies are. Like, yo, you could put makeup on, you could fucking fix your beard, get a haircut, but if your insides is fucked up, you know, like it's
facts. And does peace always equate to happiness? Because maybe if you just got rid of a job, got rid of a girlfriend, got rid of a friend, had to spend $2,000 to get your car back, right? All things that might bring you peace back, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're happy, right? I might have be sad that I had to get rid of that girlfriend, spend that money, get rid of those friends, but now I got my peace back. So peace doesn't always equate to happiness.
Wait.
Short term.
I don't know. I think every time I'm peaceful, I'm pretty happy. Like if I'm at peace and there's like the fire is put out, I'm like, that's peace to me. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
everything you mentioned is a short-term emotion. So
Right.
We have a saying like,
So-
never make long-term decisions based on short-term emotions.
Right. Okay.
So it's like you did all these things. No. I just
right.
like you did all these things to get your peace back eventually. But also there's that other part for overthinkers or people who think outside the box. Is like, maybe these things weren't for me anyways, and I'm supposed to be letting them go.
Right.
Like maybe something else, a higher power is working for me, and I just wasn't supposed to.
And that
have
goes back to the short-term pleasures. Like a short-term pleasure could talk about fucking
What the
a
hell?
relationship with a female that you love, but do you really love or do you lust? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that they're with a woman, men. I'm talking to men. You're with a woman because you really might be lusting the person. You know what I mean? Like you might love is love. Like love is unconditional. That's what I think.
Yep.
When you say you love someone, you love that person regardless of what the fuck goes down. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If it gets too toxic, obviously you're not going to keep yourself in a toxic situation. But just like Drake said, he's like, everyone I ever loved, I'm always gonna love. Like you love them, but you just can't be in that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like 5 years down the line, you hope they're doing okay.
Right. I could love you from a distance.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah, I got.
I don't know if we took a turn. Did I fucking take a turn there?
No, that was very, very much on par. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was about to go.
No, you definitely. I feel that. Because there's a lot of people. Which goes back to like your initial point of, are you running away from something if you like discard it or get rid of it because it's disturbing your peace?
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier.
To his point, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people who like love you to death. I know in your world you're a great person, but in our world, like this shit not cool. So it's like, it's cool for you to go to do your own thing. I don't prescribe to those things, but they make you happy. They put you in some sense of peace, but it disturbs mine. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means that we don't need to mesh. Well, that's okay. So that's what made me that triggered some thoughts, and I was just like, yeah, you damn right, I'm never hitting you up again.
So in a perfect world, right? How would you describe, or what does freedom look like to you? And maybe this is a controversial thought, right?
Braveheart.
But the other day I was in a classroom, right? And the kids, they still do the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And one of the teachers, I was just sitting there texting, right? And she goes, "Why aren't you getting up?" I said, "I don't do that shit for the national anthem either." And she goes, "Why not?" I go, "That flag doesn't represent me or any of these kids in this class. So if they chose to not stand up, more power to them." And she goes, "Yeah, but what you don't realize is I adopted one of my daughters. I forgot what country in Africa. So Nigeria, right? So she went to Nigeria and she said,
Kenya?
they wherever.
You guys just offended 2 countries right now. Oh, you say we broke?
No.
I'm just joking.
But
Go
she
ahead.
was like, I went there and I used to think the same way as you until I realized that over there they don't have the same freedoms, to speak or do things that we do here. And I say, yeah, but you as a Caucasian woman, you have those freedoms. I do not. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I say all that to say, in a perfect world, having that conversation made me think, what does freedom actually look like?
Is it that you don't have those freedoms and those liberties, or is it just harder for you because you're a person of color?
I think America is free as long as you follow these rules.
Well, yeah, that's law. Yeah.
No, it's law, but then there's rules. There's unspoken rules.
Societal.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
expand
they're
on
just
those?
I remember going to Southern 10 for the Apple Fest, and getting kicked out, whatever it's called, and getting kicked out.
Well, you just not supposed to be. No, I'm joking.
Pretty much saying we weren't supposed to be there, and they didn't let me and my friends go to that. This is years ago. It's not the same anymore.
Because
but I'm
your
just
shirt
saying,
wasn't tucked in.
So those are unspoken rules. You know what I'm saying?
And bro, you
We
can't
know-
say those things don't
There's
exist.
certain
Yeah.
rules that we just know. You know,
You're like, I gotta put my phone down for this shit.
Like, black people don't go hang out at certain places, and it's not because they can't. It's because it's just a rule that no one talks about.
To your yes, so it's so funny. The girl who twists my lock, shout out Jasmine, love you. Bruh, she the person who owns her shop is moving from East Hartford to Windsor. I was like, ugh, I don't like driving in Windsor, because if you know,
There you
if
go.
you're a person of color and
Right.
you drive in Windsor, with tents, you're probably getting pulled over. And then she was like, yeah, but he also might go to Manchester. I'm like, that's even worse. Like, I'm not gonna.
You
Yeah.
can't- So those are those unspoken, right? There's the laws, right? Don't speed, don't drink and drive, don't this, that. And then there are those things that as people of color, right? Because then if you really want to dive into it, you can say man of color, woman of color, yada, 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 whatever, right? There are those things that exist that we just can't do. You get what I'm saying?
And let's talk about the other rules. What is successful? What makes a person successful? Do you have to own a house by 25? Do you have to be married by 30? Is 100,000? You know what I'm talking about? Like those.
Those societal expectations. I'll call that the
And that's
supposed to
kinda
be
like
life.
rules. Like, if you want to be respected as a adult man, it's kind of like you got to be married and you have to own a home and you have to have a career, right? Like, what do you do for a living? If you tell me work at Walmart, it's like,
Right.
Yes. So I live in this world, right?
We all do.
Yes, but like the world of like people who feel like they're higher than thou, judging those based on their credit or their salary. So because I'm a financial
credit is
advisor.
one thing and salary is another.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a comma.
It's but I'm talking about as far as like
But like the world judges you, like the United States judges you based on your income.
right.
The reason why is because the more income you make, the more taxes you pay. And the ability to do these things rely on your credit. So being a financial advisor, there's certain industries that if a newer advisor told me they're talking to, in my head I'm like, yeah, bro, like good luck, but they're not going to make enough money to pay your bills. And that's like, I dislike that connotation, but it's one of those things where I know, being selfish and have to take care of myself, I need to be able to help people on a grander scale so that I free up the autonomy to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely. Damn, y'all both took out your phones.
No, I'm sorry. I swear to God I was listening.
No. So it's interesting that you brought that up, because people definitely judge you and think differently of you based on how much money you make, where you live,
Right.
color of your skin. And if these things are all like left and like you have nothing good going for you, then like
So
you're
6
bottom
years
of the
ago,
barrel.
I was not married. I didn't own a barbershop, and I was pretty much living in my car. I would park at the edge, club, fitness,
Yeah.
sleep there, wake up, go to the gym, and work out, take a shower, get back in my car, and go to work.
You're a real artist, like
right.
So, like, that's like you're
Sometimes you got to make
dream.
sacrifices.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So if you would have met me 5 years or 6 years ago, I was a homeless, starving artist.
Wow.
So you would have been like, that guy, you know, no respect. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you? You're 30. I was 31 years old, and like you're 31. You're sleeping in your car, and
You 37 right now?
yeah.
Wow.
So
I was gonna say black don't crack, but you nigga.
But I'm sure there's a lot of black ancestors.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say. What I'm saying is that if you would have met me back then, like the respect level wouldn't be where it's at today. As far as like, okay, I'm married now, you know, I own a business. I'm like, my art is getting spotted everywhere. Like, I don't think I have a little bit of money.
I don't think the respect would have been different. The ability to offer my services would be different, like, because I just wouldn't be able to help you, because like you're trying to help yourself, you know?
Right, but I'm talking about, that's you knowing me, but I'm talking about like the average Smo Joe. Like sometimes I'll be at a place, and trust me, no one thinks that I am who I am and do what I do, you know what I mean? They immediately like, this guy has tattoos on his head, he definitely went to jail. I'm sure they think that, like it's like I've had that vibe.
Think so?
I've had that vibe where it's like there's something going on. There's an ugly past with that kid. And then I started speaking, and like, oh, he's actually kind of like down to earth. But my initial reaction, when you look at me, you know, people, a lot of people's initial reactions, especially white people, it's like, you know, they're like walking on, you know, they're trying to figure it out. Like,
How does that make you feel?
Do
you embrace it?
I like it sometimes because I'm representing my culture. And then when I tell them everything that I do, they're like, wow, these Puerto Rican guys ain't that bad, or, you know, we're known for domestic violence and, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we, just like blacks have their things, Latinos have their thing, and we get looked at, oh, here goes those guys and these guys, and it's like,
those stereotypes take away from our freedom.
yes,
It's a restriction. It's a barrier. It's an obstacle that just because I remember my first job that I had, right? I went in there and I had no shame that I had tattoos and a man bun at that time. You know what I mean? And obviously I don't have as many tattoos as you, but being one of like 4 people of color in the office, it was like, nah, I'm going to go in here and talk my shit, because as soon as I start working, as soon as I start articulating myself, y'all not going to be able to keep up, regardless of this tattoo and man bun.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But there are those restrictions, those barriers,
and
those
that
stereotypes.
comes to what we were talking about with the freedom, where it's like when you're a teenager, your home's fucked up, you're going through some shit, you're depressed, you're stressed out, you're a teen, school's fucked up, you go to school, they're laughing at you because you don't got the latest shit. Now you're like, fuck school, I'm dropping out of school. Now this is like a big fucking snowball all the way fucking down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, when you create that big mess, and then you're like, okay, I'm at the bottom, rock bottom, the only way is up. You start coming back out of that situation, but that fucking record and that fucking past that was so ugly, now it's like on you like a parachute, where it's like you can't get it off you know what I'm saying? And now you got to keep going and figure out how to maneuver with the record that you made when you were a fucking adolescent, you're immature, and now you're a grown man trying to get jobs. This is why I'm a business owner. I could never get people to hire me. You know what I'm saying?
Start my own
Which
shit.
was good, because, you know, like it made me do my own shit. And like I make my own money. Ain't nobody writing my fucking checks, and that's never gonna happen again in my life.
Beautiful,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm never gonna allow someone to fucking control my salary.
So you would consider yourself free?
I'm free. I'm very free. Like, I feel retired, but there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of work to do because it's about our culture. Once you become something, like, I'm not rich. I've got bills. I'm working every day for my money, and we're always figuring out ways to get passive income and all that. But the goal is to fucking bring our culture shit. We got some smart Spanish and black men that need to be fucking heard. We got Spanish Elon Musk. We got Spanish inventors. We got black inventors. We got, you know what I'm saying? Like, And it's like, we're still at the bottom. Why is fucking Elon Musk talking about Amazon? Like, we got all these motherfuckers. We're not getting the opportunities these guys are getting to fucking blow up the business. We get caught. We get down here, and we got Jay-Z that finally became a billionaire. And it's not hard. This guy's almost fucking 50. He's 50-something years old. It took him a long-ass time.
I think there's, in the next 30 years, you're going to see a lot more of it. But you got to remember just the way this country's set up. Like, they had so much of a head start. The fact that Jay-Z achieved what he has in our lifetime is actually huge.
No, it is huge.
So, like, that definitely paved the way.
But it also be like, damn, though, this... Bezos, when did he become a billionaire? He's 30? Like, it's taken our culture. Trust me, they put in roadblocks, and I see it all the time, especially with the cannabis situation right now. A lot of people in the hood having a hard time getting approved because it goes down to the money. Trying to tell you need $1 million for some shit. It's like, we don't got that fucking money.
Right.
So that's why you putting the number on it, because our culture doesn't have that fucking money.
Right. It's just another barrier. And I think similar to what you were saying earlier, to piggyback, how you were saying, like, oh, I was that kid that fucked up, and then people didn't ever want to hire me. People this, whatever, right? I think for me, a sense of freedom is a short memory. You know what I mean? Forget about what just happened. Forget about that heartbreak. How do I move on to become that billionaire? You figured out, okay, I start my job. You know what I mean? A short memory, and it almost correlates with everything that we've been saying, like, in terms of mental. I can't, like you were saying earlier, fuck your feelings. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I can't get caught up in my feelings. I can't get caught up in this situation at that job. Or for every 1,000 no's, there's always going to be a yes, even if I created that yes for myself. Mm-hmm. And a sense of freedom is a short memory, because the longer you sit in a situation or a negative situation, you're just bringing yourself down.
But you say short memory as in totally forgetting the past, or?
I wouldn't say totally forget the past, because those reminders are always good to help you grow. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, that happened before, but just learn your lesson and move on. You know, like,
right.
Don't soak in your sadness.
Yeah, right. Don't dwell on it. Like, take the punch, get the fuck up, and keep going.
Keep it pushing.
Because you're going to keep getting hit.
Yeah, right. Once you're on the ground, they just going to start A-Town stomping your ass.
You're going to keep getting hit for the rest of your life.
Right.
Not to mention perception. Like, while you're talking about this, I'm a big Disney Channel kid. I was thinking of Lion King and how Simba lived majority of his life thinking he killed his dad. And he didn't. And he kept saying, I remember him screaming to the sky, I'm such a nerd. He's like, you can't change the past. Like, but like, he didn't realize that he didn't kill his, like, this whole time he's thinking he killed his dad.
Right.
So I was thinking of short memory. I was like, damn, what would Simba's life been if he never thought he killed his... Sorry. Everything you said was great.
That was that ADD door.
Yeah. He wasn't fucking listening.
I was listening, but...
that he was like, that's payback for taking our phones out.
Nah.
But I mean, shit. I mean, we've been chopping it up over an hour now.
That was quick.
Wasn't it? I almost said that's what she said, but that's not what she said. Yeah, I mean, let's is there anything about freedom, in regards to freedom, that we did not cover
in 2022?
He's like, we could talk about that forever. Well, then shit. Hello.
I would just say, like, as far as freedom is, you work towards your freedom. You got to earn your freedom at the end of the day, as far as like where you want to take it. Yeah, you could go live in a fucking forest and build a little fucking shed and live by the river and be free and off the radar. Right. But then again, we're all about legacy. We're all about culture, and we're all about making sure our kids know what they need to do. As far as, we got to leave the blueprint. Right. Because if not, we're going to keep going to jail. We're going to keep breaking the laws. We're going to keep staying on the bottom. We're going to keep not being entrepreneurs. We're going to keep getting those roadblocks and just giving up at the roadblocks. We need to be a strong culture together and break down the barriers. And like you said, and I think sooner than 30 years, I believe 10, 15 years, we're going to start seeing more of our culture own companies. Like, you know, you see what Master P's doing with the food and
Yep.
and all that. He's taking it to the next level because we need to be in that space.
Yeah.
It isn't just clothes and hip hop, and we need to be in all these spaces.
It's
Facts.
true.
I mean, look at the calf. You know what I mean? Look at this spot right here. So that's very, very true. Well, shit, we like to end every episode with our 15 seconds of fame. You go that camera, any camera. Whenever we get into our big studio, it's gonna be fun because I'm gonna be able to point at 20 cameras. Talk your shit. It doesn't have to. You could say whatever you want. Doesn't have to do anything with what we talked about. You could drop your tags, tell people where to find you. Shout out your moms, whatever, and then we'll go down the line and wrap up.
Cool. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram. That's the main page at Eddie_Rivera. And you can follow my barbershop page at New Style Hair Studio on Instagram. And check me out. I do art. I'm working on an album, and you know, I got one of the dopest barbershops in CT. So
You want to talk about that barbershop?
Yeah.
Hello?
What y'all do on Sundays?
on Sundays we cater to kids with autism. You know,
That's
we're trying to raise awareness and you know, promote acceptance, because we know the autism thing is becoming, you know, more known as far as like more kids are being, you know, they're starting to diagnose more kids on the spectrum, and we kind of need to learn how to, you know, help those kids.
Word.
You know, how to, you know, day to day on
Live
day-to-day
a-
stuff.
I don't know if I'm
And
saying
accepting,
this.
and it's all about
Right.
accepting. Like, we don't need to be all educated about autism, because we're not all perfect, but we just need to be like, okay, I'm gonna be accepting of
Right.
not even just autism. It's just the world needs peace and love right now. Autism,
Facts.
the LBG community, you know, everyone needs to love and peace. So
I love
Facts.
that. I love another thing I like. I'm just gonna part of my 15 seconds is just gonna shout you out. Is that, you know, a barber's weekend is Sunday and Monday, and you're taking Sundays to do this. That's dope, man.
thank you.
This has been a great conversation. I've appreciated your perspective.
Appreciate you guys.
It's shed
No
some
doubt.
light on this. This is one of Jacob always says, this is probably one of my favorite episodes. It's
Thank
definitely
you.
a dope conversation.
It was a great combo.
And yeah, so I guess my plug is, you know, freedom isn't free. I think that's the summation of everything we talked about. Like, freedom is the end goal, but the sweat equity, the work, the grind that leads to that is not free. You just got to go after it.
Word. For me, you guys know I always do this. Eddie, thank you for coming.
Thank you for
This
having
was
me.
great. Whenever you want to come back, holla at me, holla at Spencer, whatever. We're gonna make it happen.
October 4th, BET Awards, Hip Hop Awards, will be showing my big pun painting I did for Fat Joe. So look out for that.
Ooh, that's fire. humble flex.
I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yo, that's fire. October 4th, we will be redropping this episode.
Facts.
That's fire.
But no, bro, thank you for coming. This was very insightful, great conversation. Calf, thank you again for hosting us, allowing us to have this space. My 15 seconds of fame. Not only should you guys always believe in yourselves, but believe in other people, believe in their dreams, even if it might not seem obtainable. Everything is obtainable with a little bit of support, a little bit of love, and a lot of hard work. With that being said, this is the best motherfucking podcast in CT, and it's a wrap because we gonna blow up, and we got somebody on here with big puns painting on it, and that's a motherfucking wrap.
That was dope. That was